Hey, we're going to rip through this song.
I'm Dan.
I'm Alan.
And this is Whiplash. So the story behind the song is we were going out on tour, and we hadn't put out a song since Analysis Paralysis, and we were kind of just thinking about, hey, maybe we should get in the studio, try to write a song, right? Was that the plan? Or the plan, we actually had plans to, like, record covers? No, that was later.
Yeah, we had all kinds of plans. We never know what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
always just figuring out as we go, like everyone else, I guess. But we had the idea to try and work on a single without any pressure of whether we got something done or not.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a song written.
So we just went into the studio, and we're like, what are we going to do? We started playing around with some ideas, but then we remembered a demo that we had written. Actually, it was the first demo that we wrote for Analysis Paralysis, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was this song that it was like this like slow kind of trudgy thing that it was like kind of Helmet inspired, or I don't know. It was just, I got a baritone guitar.
Yeah, and it was the first thing.
And we were just like, let's write a song with this baritone guitar. So the demo was called Barry, and we wrote it. You have the demo in here?
I do have the demo in here.
And we worked on the demo, and then, yeah, play the demo. I wonder if it sounds it's definitely slower.
It's definitely slower. And it just repeats over and over.
Goes forever. There was a whole bunch of other parts, weren't there, that we didn't use?
Oh, there were, yeah. Well, there's the verse, I think, is intact as well.
No, it's a whole different part.
Yeah, it's a whole new part.
Play that part. Kind of cool, but we're gonna get over that. That's when you really start to feel how slow the song is.
Yeah,
that part.
And
but anyway, yeah.
When we got into the studio for Analysis Paralysis, and obviously had this as a starting point to try and like, hey, let's work on this one, because we loved that opening riff, the da-na, da-na, wah, and we just didn't know where to take the song.
Yeah, I remember we were sitting trying to write. Well, yeah, we didn't know what we wanted to do for a verse, and all the parts that we wrote, like that part that we just played, everything felt crazy slow. But then when you speed up the other part, it just didn't feel cool anymore. So we were kind of at like this impasse.
And we had this idea that we were gonna have to. The bit of the song was, okay, this one part's super slow, but we have to make the rest of the song fast so that it has that contrast. And that didn't work either. So we basically just abandoned the
demo.
Song.
Died on the floor.
And it's just been sitting in a Dropbox folder.
Yeah, but so we were in there. We're like, oh, this thing's so cool, and we really want to mess with it. And that's when we were kind of like, well, maybe if we just stay in it, and maybe like it's more of a dynamic shift as far as like going to the chorus and going to the verses and going to the like intro and the post-chorus and stuff like that. It's more of a dynamic shift than like a part change. Which honestly, a lot of songs that I liked from like the 90s and shit like that do that. Like, it doesn't really change
and
structure.
Even when we were, to be honest, even when we were in the studio doing the version that is now released of Whiplash, we tried making the chorus different. We tried making the chorus faster. We tried making the chorus a different chord progression. Mm-hmm. We tried making the chorus double time instead of half time. We tried everything, and every time we did, it just felt like it got worse. I remember
sitting there trying to convince you. I'm like, I think we just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you were like, and it was like going against all the bones in your body. I'm like, I think like every time we do something else, when it goes back to the intro, that's when we're like, yeah, there's the part we want to hear. It's like, why don't we just stay in the part we want to hear?
And there was a specific song for me that I kept referencing. That there's a Nine Inch Nails song called "No You Don't." That like is a really simple guitar riff over a slow halftime sludgy thing, and then the chorus is just the same riff, but with like faster drums.
Oh yeah.
And like I love that song so much, and I was convinced that we could apply it to this scenario, like same riff, different drum groove, and we kept trying that, but it just wasn't working. And at one point we were just like, I think it's just good to just keep it, and we make the dynamic of the song what changes it part to part, which is what made the verse go down to just the bass.
Yeah, like play the.
Because in the
demo's
final
so
version, you have the intro, which is
pretty much the demo.
Lots of guitars,
Yeah.
but then without the vocals.
Yeah. We did all those weird little guitar sounds.
Yep.
I remember we just did a whole pass where I was just doing.
Yeah, there's all these
Trash
weird
on a guitar.
sounds. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all that weird stuff. So we just wanted to take the verse and bring it down in dynamic, and then when we got to the chorus, I guess the idea was to just make it bigger and louder than.
And I think that's why
else.
we landed on screaming too, because it just helps there be such a shift from this
the
like
verse.
lower intensity verse, and then going to the chorus is more screamy, and that makes it.
And I think the most exciting part about the song out of the gate for us as guitar players was the little pitch bend bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was like the thing that I think both Dan and I were always kind of leaning, like the part we were excited about, this thing.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is the way we did it too. We didn't even use a whammy bar. We just went bang, just went
Yeah.
bow.
Because we didn't have a whammy bar when we were doing the original demo, and I believe this is
That's the original
from
demo.
the original
Bow.
demo.
Yeah.
And just make it the loudest thing in the mix.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we kind of worked on the song and got to a point where we're like, all right, we've got some sort of structure here, like intro, verse, chorus, post-chorus, intro. I mean, a verse.
There really isn't
chorus.
even a post-chorus in this song.
Oh yeah, it goes right into the verse. Yeah.
Too.
And then we were like, well, I don't know what we want to do at the end. Like what do we want to do for a bridge? Like we didn't know if it wanted to be a song that we had to come back from the bridge, or what we wanted to do.
Which we did try a bunch of stuff for the outro. Like at one point, the outro was also the intro riff, and we just tried to make it an even heavier version of it.
Yeah.
That didn't really seem to work.
It's like whenever we're writing stuff, it's all about like what gets us excited, and I feel like for the most part, the way Alan and I work, especially when we're writing stuff, is like something new happening is what gets us the most excited. Which is why it was interesting doing this song, because anytime we changed, we were like
less excited.
We were less excited. So that's why I think this song was such an interesting thing. But we did want to change it up and go somewhere else for the bridge or the outro, whatever it was. So we landed on this like chromatic rising guitar part,
which is
which goes a half step higher every time you hear it. Goes a little bit higher. A little bit higher. A little bit higher. And I just like that because it's just constantly building tension, which makes the next part feel even better because you get the release of the heaviest part of the song. Which
was also felt like a weird thing to try to accomplish, because I know it's like slow and sludgy, but the whole song feels pretty heavy to me.
Yeah.
Like the intro, even though it's on a closed hi-hat.
Yeah.
So like finding a way to do something even heavier to feel like a change.
Well, I remember we just like kind of looped like the drum bit for a bit and just riffed over it until we eventually. And I remember we were riffing and be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yep.
And then we'd be like,
once we
and
both.
"Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
Okay, and that's cool. And then the riff just kind of built itself.
Yeah.
From there.
I wish we had like videos of like we're so bad at capturing those moments
Because we're capturing these moments right now.
But I feel like when it's happening, it would be so cool to have that, but it all feels so insignificant moment to moment that it doesn't feel like it's worth capturing until we're looking back on it.
As we talk about it, we're like, and then we just kept adding a part, but that was really like probably like
3 days worth of work.
Yeah, just an hour of me playing the same thing going, something's not right. Like, let me try it again. the same way, and then we change one note.
Yeah.
It would actually be the most boring video you could possibly watch.
Because we had no idea what we were going to do when we started this session to do a single. We knew we wanted to do a single, but we didn't know what it was going to be. We had a whole 7-day week in the studio on the calendar, and we ended up only just working on this one song for an entire week.
Yeah.
Which usually it doesn't take that long.
And to be fair, we weren't working full days.
No,
we were like going home for dinner and stuff like that.
But still, I think it gave us the opportunity to try a lot of different things within the one song.
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, I thought it was a super fun song to. It's a super fun song to play. That's for sure. I really like playing it live.
Yeah, and I feel like it has a lot of like fun ear candy and stuff in it.
Yeah. I think the guitar tones came out cool. I think the bass played like Joe ripped the song.
Yeah, the bass tone awesome. Is pretty sweet.
It doesn't even sound like the same song when you play the random part of it. But
yeah, you'll notice it more if I just play like the main riff.
Yeah, it's such a crunchy bass tone too. And then we added like the bass synth thing.
That has like a little bit of bass synth. This is just the bass.
Yeah.
Which is actually a lot of the vibe of the part.
Of the whole song.
The bass synth just has like a little bit of sauce.
And it was cool too. The drum, I think, like Jake did a great job on the drums too. They're like groovy. There's a cool groove like pocket that he had to play in because we also have like all this like extra percussion happening in the background.
Yeah, this
kind of creates this weird groove.
This is just the drum groove.
Which is like the most classic drum groove there is.
The groove was this percussion stuff.
Yeah. Which is kind of like building like from a bunch of like little loops and stuff like that we...
Yeah, but we were big into the idea of like drum breaks and stuff at the time. But so when you play them together... There's like a... On the other rotation, it's like a whip crack. Oh, it's on the other one. Is it here? No. Oh, yeah, that's right here. That's...
Yeah, it's fun.
Just production stuff, you know?
Yeah. But yeah.
Fun with it.
It was, it's honestly, it's a really simple song. It's a relatively simple song to put together, too.
Which honestly was, it was a struggle for us.
Yeah, I mean,
because simplicity, just in nature of the history of our band, always feels like, but then it's not enough.
Yeah, we love something until we kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we think things need to be more complicated and things think needs more and more and more layers, more complexity, but at the end of the day, the more complexity we added to the song, we felt like the more it took away from it.
Yeah, the less I liked it.
Yeah.
And then like writing the lyrics was honestly we had the chorus. We like wrote the chorus in the studio and had that kind of figured out.
Which started with just like the word whiplash.
Yeah.
I don't know how that came up, but the word whiplash just stuck with us
at the time.
Yeah, and it just stuck with us. So then we were trying to like build this whole idea around that concept and like what.
Yeah, just being pulled back and forth between like two parts of your life was kind of what we were talking about. You know, like
with us, it's always the band life.
Or home life.
Or home life.
Touring, home life, and just being pulled back and forth between those two things.
Because they're so wildly different for all of us.
And yeah, I remember we wrote the chorus, and we were pretty happy with that. And then we needed verses because we were recording the video.
Yes.
That was the best part, is that we were like, all right, well, we have on the calendar, we're going to shoot a video for it this day. And then that day came, and we didn't have the vocals recorded to the song that we were going to shoot the video for. So I think I
actually have video of that we should.
I sent you lyrics like a week before, and like went through and sent like a little voice.
Yeah, because he was on tour.
Yeah.
With Newfound Glory, I was still at home, so we were like trying to write this lyrics remotely, which we had never done before. Yeah. But the song was recorded otherwise.
And then I remember you texted me and you're like, "Hey, we really got to do these vocals." I was like, "All right, hold on." So yeah, and like within like 30 minutes, I sent you like kind of like a phone demo of like the lyrics that combined the lyrics that we had written before I left, and then like filling holes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was like the entirety of verse 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's where we didn't know where to take it. But yeah, verse 1, which we had written together in the studio and had like a scratch vocal of. I don't know if we still have the scratch vocal. This is the finished vocal.
Split me right down the middle and watch us move in parallel.
Lots of fun reverbs.
Lots of reverbs, and let's be real. Let's take a listen to those harmonies, because those were cool.
Well, we recorded all the harmonies and everything after we did the video.
Yeah.
Moving parallel.
Sound crazy.
Yeah,
but with the lead vocal.
Yeah.
Moving parallel.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Gets all dreamy and vibey.
It's all dreamy.
Yeah, like we had to record them all the morning of the video because we had to be singing it in the video.
Yeah.
So we were because we shot the video, we started at your house, and
at like 10 a.m. I think the shoot started, and Dan came over at 9 to record the vocals. I think we ended up keeping those versions too. We didn't because the idea was, we at least got to record like a scratch vocal of this really quick. So that we knew what lyrics were going to be in the music
and
video,
who was going to sing
and
what.
Who was going to sing what. But I think we ended up keeping a lot of...
Yeah, we did the harmonies and stuff
after
the video was done.
And maybe some doubles and stuff. But we ended up liking the takes we were doing. I don't know if it was something about the I don't know, off the cuff, not caring too much because we knew no one was ever going to hear it. But
But just like performance-wise?
Yeah.
Also, I think it just helped that it was lower in our register too, so singing that early in the morning wasn't too hard.
Yeah. And lyrically, that first lyric in the song, "Split me right down the middle and watch us move in parallel," that was what kind of kicked off the whole vision of the song, because after having written the chorus, but and it's kind of just about those two lives and
wishing that you could divide yourself in two so that you could have one person who's
gets to be at home with their family all day every day,
and then the other person who's on tour getting
to play music for a living.
And having the struggle of being torn between those two worlds is something that we both live with all the time,
and sometimes feeling like it's impossible to do both. And kind of challenging yourself. That was how we kind of worded the and watch us move in parallel, meaning what, you think I can't do both? Watch me.
Yeah.
And
that's what kind of kicked off the whole idea of what the lyrics were saying.
And then I can't even remember what the other lyrics were.
Body pressed to the ceiling, just a bed.
Yeah, body pressed
to the ceiling, just a bed of nails break the fall. The whole idea of that was, if watch us move in parallel, the idea of, and then we're just floating up, but there's nothing underneath you but pain. And that's kind of what it is you're on tour, wishing you were home, you're at home, wishing you were on tour, and either way, you're both getting exactly what you want, and the other half of you is disappointed. And it's just that constant juxtaposition that we go through all the time. And I feel like we write a lot of songs about that struggle because, let's be honest, I don't have a lot of relationship struggles, and you don't either, that we're we really pull
Two
from.
happily married men.
So a lot of the like emotional weight that we get from is a lot of the internal battles that we go through, just trying to make peace with the fact that, you know, we both got to do exactly what we wanted to do with our lives, and we still wish that sometimes that we could have
Grass is always
something.
greener.
Exactly.
You know.
And that's kind of what the song ended up.
And I think one of the last lyrics written for the song that kind of like summed it all up, which I remember saying, because you had written it and sent me a demo of it. I remember saying like, is it too on the nose lyrically? Because typically we like to use a lot of imagery and metaphors and like
We like to make it hard to understand.
yeah, because we want people. Well, one, we want people to be able to interpret it however it fits their own life, you know, and their own story. But the lyric, "How can I be much more than me?"
Yeah.
It felt really, in a way, too on the nose for me. But the more I listened to it, just wrapped it all up in a really nice way.
Yeah.
Especially because you never, like, on the downbeat of the bridge, you don't say the word me.
Mm-hmm.
Just, how can I be much more than? And
Yeah.
I always thought that was really cool. Because I feel like, how can I be much more than me? In the context of the song, the me is this, I'm half here, I'm half there, I'm always wanting this, I'm always wanting that, and expecting that you could somehow have some perfect version where you're doing everything you want all the time, no matter what.
At 100%.
At 100% isn't possible. So how can I be much more than just who I am day to day, which is fucking human?
Yeah.
Wanting this and wanting that, and being able to be grateful for what you have and still wish you had this, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of that too, is dealing with the guilt of having
wishing.
of having what you want and still wanting
Yeah.
more. Like it, you know, there's a guilt that goes along with that. Like, I get to play guitar for a living. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do forever. And like, also in the same breath, like, how dare me wish that I was at home not doing that sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just a tough thing to go through.
Yeah. And with, I don't know.
How can I be much more than me? How can I be much
I hate hearing it by itself.
How can I be much more than me? How can I be much more than
I definitely did that the morning of. That was the last
was-
thing that I did.
That was a single
before
take,
the
and we
video.
were just like,
and then there's a song.
and then that's Whiplash.
Yeah.